Hello, hello, hello. All right, everyone, come on in. This is Dante, and let's just go ahead and get started as we see it starting to load up. So, as everyone comes in, this is Dante, and you are listening to The Smoking Prophet. And The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource people spiritually, creatively, and socially. And as everyone comes in, we will take a little bit of time. That way, everyone comes in and we can get started on this. And I'm actually excited to hear this because this was completely spontaneous on Lola's part. And I'm not exactly sure what she's going to say. So I'm ready to get into this. And I guess I can just bring Lola on.
I don't have anything to say. This is all you. Go ahead.
What you mean this is all me? Lola done thrown me to the bus. Well, in that case, I guess I'll be mediator because Lola want to throw people out.
I don't know what you're talking about,
Oh, what you mean?
Dante. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
I do. I do. But like I said, since we have more people coming in here, let me do introductions again. So, hello everyone. My name is Dante, and you are listening to the Smoking Prophet. The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource people spiritually, creatively, and socially.
That's right. Our goal is to give you what it takes others years to get.
I love that quote.
Go for it. It's the truth.
And today's topic is going to be.
You forgot.
I did actually.
It's okay. Why details are killing your dreams.
Yes,
Why details are killing your dreams. What does that mean to you?
it's a good question. You know, when I first heard that, I was thinking, well, what does that mean? So maybe to me, I was thinking that in the midst of trying to create a dream, I got bogged down by everything else that I'm thinking about. Like, oh, wait, it has to be this way. It has to be perfect before I can actually let this come into fruition, before I can make this happen. I have to make sure that everything is set just right.
hmm And that's exactly what I was thinking. And you actually called out a word that is often associated with details, perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we are super caught up in the details of a thing, it's it's because we want it to be perfect. And it's okay that we want things to be perfect, that we want them to be done in excellence and all of that good stuff. But it's not okay if that has become a burden to you, so much so that you are caught up in it
Mm-hmm.
and it's destroying and derailing your dreams.
No, that makes total sense. And I wonder how exactly we get caught up in it too, because we're seeing this plan and we're like, okay, well, I know how to make it work. I know how to make it happen. And then suddenly it's like, oh, it never happens. So, question, Lola, why do you think people get so caught up in it and it never comes to fruition or they never are able to get it to happen?
Well, you got to say that a little bit
Clear?
differently.
Okay.
Yes.
So, why do people get caught up in trying to make it perfect so much so that they never actually make it happen?
That's a loaded question. I think it can be a number of reasons. You may have been someone who came up in a household where it was just drilled in you that things needed to be done right. You weren't really given a lot of grace. You
Mm-hmm.
weren't given a lot of room for mistakes. You may have been one to bring home a B, and you know your parents been like, you couldn't have done better than that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you just have those really really high demands that you've created for yourself. So that could be one thing. Another thing could be lack of acceptance. And because you're not accepted, you're like, I'm doing this to prove myself, and I can't make not one mistake. That could be it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So that's a loaded question. What I want to get to is how to get past that
Okay.
so that the details don't derail you. Today I was working with my family, and our household and our lifestyle is like very fluid now. Things change regularly.
Correct.
Like we can change our schedule up. Last year we changed our schedule up I don't know how many times
Mhm.
because all of us were doing life at home. And when I say all of us were doing life at home, Dante's home, I'm home, kids are home. And so we're all here trying to make it work. So now we kind of all find a groove, a sweet spot, like midday where we're all silent, we're all working, everything's in place and where it needs to be. And then probably around like 2 o'clock, the
Yeah.
house starts waking up again
Mm-hmm.
because the school schedules are changing. One set is getting out of school, the
Mm-hmm.
other was preparing to get out of school. So today my household was waking up, and one of our children was just really caught up on something like an assignment at school. They were just so caught up on it, and they were like, I'm looking for a word, um, I can't think of the word. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, just write the sentence the way you want it and just move on and get it all done. I'm like, you're so caught up in the details, it's stopping you. And when I said that, I thought about like so many of us, like, we'll have an idea, a plan, and we'll get so caught up in, the details and writing it all out in one sitting,
Yeah.
and completing it all in one day
Mm-hmm.
and taking a month to do something. And it's like we get so caught up in that any little detail will stop us from getting it done.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really just your problem when you're not able to complete these goals that you have. It's because you've gotten caught up in a detail and you have to break that and move past it. Some things happen quickly. Some things you can sit down and get like in a day, but I've read some incredible stories about people who have compiled information from 10 years and use that to make books. And I'm
Mm.
like,
Wow.
so if you don't sit down and get your book done
Mhm.
in 30 days, it's okay. If you don't sit down in a day and get it done, it's okay. Like the whole thing is like that you just complete it and get it done. Whatever it is, that you just complete it and get it done, and that you don't allow yourself to get caught up in a detail.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I talk to people about writing and about how to write. Like I've talked to people and they're like, I can't get my book done. And some people may think, well, Lola, how can you give advice on doing a book and you've never done a book? I don't have to, I can give advice on anything, to be honest with you, that I've learned about anything at all, to be honest. If I've read about it, I can give you advice on it. But I've actually written so much stuff. I wrote a book already. I just don't like it. I wrote it several years ago. And it's just little nuggets of wisdom, to be honest with you. But I have so, so, so much content. But at any rate, when I'm telling people about like writing, I'm like, you're not supposed to sit down in one setting and write and proofread and edit at the same time. First of all, those are three different functions.
Correct.
You're writing, then you want to edit, then you want to proofread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's too much stuff in one setting. So, like, as you're writing, just write everything, just get it all out. If you want to write a blog, if you want to write a book, if you want to write an outline for a podcast or a vlog, just write and get it all out with the wrong words, with spelling this off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
do not force yourself not to try to perfect it right there in that moment. Force yourself not to get caught up in the details, because you hit a creative flow and you will hinder your own creative flow
Mm-hmm.
trying to do everything at once.
Oh, I like that.
You
That
know what I'm
makes and that
saying?
makes total sense. And what it makes me think about is literally the statement that came to mind, which is a shame to say because I hate taking a trademark from Nike, but it's just do it. Don't allow yourself to just get impeded by all of the stuff that's getting on your mind. It's just like, all right, just go as you're flowing, go, 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 go until you don't have any more. And then afterwards, after you've spilled it out of your mind and it's now written on paper or written on the computer, then you have time to look at it and say, oh wow, this really came out of my head. This was all just on my mind. Go ahead and do that before you say, well, hold on, this sentence has to be perfect first. Just go ahead and do it. Just get it out.
Just get it out. Writing is a very, very hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to write out your thoughts. I don't like to be honest with you, and I'm going somewhere I didn't want to, because I don't want to just gear this towards writing. But when I write something, I don't like writing and editing and proofreading in the same day. It depends on how long whatever it is that I'm doing is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Three
Yep.
days to work on it, because I want to have one day to write. I want to have one day to edit it, to make sure it flows well, to make sure it makes sense, to make sure it's clear, succinct, and all of that stuff. And then I want to have a day just like to proofread it, find grammatical errors and all of that stuff. I don't want to do it all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
So my best bet is just like let all the junk come out and go from there, and not to get caught up in the details.
Exactly.
You know, details are good. And guys, like, this is a tough thing for me. I see some of you all on here talking, and you're like, Diane said, I struggle with that. Huge. Sarah Mia, we see you on here. Grace and peace. We love you, fam. And Jasmine, we see you on here. And I think I saw Tonka on here too. But I struggle a lot with like details and planning. That's my nature. Dante, you remember when you and I first got together,
Mm-hmm.
and you were used to like, you want me to say it?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. So you didn't have no order, no
No.
structure when it came to you and the house,
Mm-hmm.
because of what?
Because of living my life as an only child and not having to worry about living with other people, really.
Right. So, like, when we moved in together, what is one thing that I used to say to you?
Everything has a
Uh
place.
huh. Say it again.
Everything has a place.
Everything has a place. I used to tell Dante, everything has a place.
Mm-hmm.
Your keys have a place. Your wallet has a place in the
Mm-hmm.
house. You know, documents have a place. You know, everything has a place. We don't just, the scissors have a place. Oh my gosh, you used to leave the scissors out all the time.
I
And
sure
it was
did.
funny because I had scissors in two spots for you. I had scissors in your bedroom
Mm-hmm.
drawer, and I had scissors at the counter for
Mm-hmm.
you. Like when you would go in there and be using it. And I'm like, man, these scissors still end up all over the house. And I'm like, why every time I turn around, the keys are in three different spots? I don't
Yes.
understand. Everything has a place. So I'm sharing this with you all to let you know that, man, me me loving details is like, I love details. Like, I love details like it's my favorite meal. I love it. But what God has been showing me more and more recently is to just let them go. And I'm actually going to share something I wrote last year, and then I'm going to get off of here and go. So before I do that, I'm going to look at Jackie's comment. Love Jackie said, when I stopped thinking of saying that to myself, everything has a place, things started to go awry. Now, I still believe in order and organization. So in our
Mm-hmm.
household, the keys have a place,
Yes, they do.
the wallet has a place,
Mm-hmm.
my purse has a place, everything does have a place in
Mm-hmm.
our house. But I'm trying to get you to give yourself more grace and more flexibility when it comes to your dreams and when it comes to your goals. I don't want you to be so hard on yourself and so tough on yourself, like, oh man, I didn't do this. And then you start feeling bad and your goals actually start working against you. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how do your goals work against you? If you set incredibly um, aggressive goals. So your goals can have different levels. You can have like mild goals. They're
Mm-hmm.
kind of like starter goals. You can have more aggressive goals, and those would be like your moderate goals,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just have full on aggressive goals. If you are going after some really hard aggressive goals and you're not working your way up to that point with starter goals and then with more moderate goals, then what you'll end up doing is setting yourself up to fail.
Mm.
And when you fail, like, it will make you feel so bad and so discouraged. And you're like, don't speak this over me, Lola. That's not true. But the reality is, this is how your body and your brain works. Now, if you go back and you start setting up some simple goals and you give yourself some more flexibility, some more grace, some more leeway, then when you start achieving those simple goals, whether they're simple, whether they're small, when you start achieving them, it will actually encourage you. It'll pump dopamine into your brain, and that will encourage you. And you can use that as a momentum to get some leverage going when it comes to your bigger goals. So that's what I'm saying is sometimes you get caught up in those details. That makes sense, babe?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And the goals that you set, the goals that you set end up working against you.
Mm-hmm.
You're harder on yourself than God is. You're harder on you. You're kinder to other people, and you're real tough and strict with yourself. And it's like, fam, give yourself the same grace that you give other people. Give yourself the same grace that God gives you.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something that I wrote at the end of last year, because guys, like, I'm a stickler for details, and like Dante said, everything has a place.
Yes, it does.
And
It's been drilled into me now.
yeah, and it's man, the father started working on my flexibility sometime last year. And here we go. So I wrote this on December the 29th, 2020 at 7:06 p.m. And it was so crazy because I thought about artwork, and that's where it started. So I said, I love art, creating, drawing, painting, building with my hands. The thing I love most about art is sometimes I see it before I see it, and sometimes I don't. That wraps up how I feel about this season that I'm heading into. So when I said the thing that I love most about art is sometimes I see it and sometimes I don't. It's like sometimes in my head I will see something that I want to draw or that I want to make before I make it, and then other times I'll just pull out my pen and my paper and I'll just start freestyling.
Mm.
And it's like I don't see the artwork before it happens. I don't see it until I'm done drawing it on my paper. So that's what I felt like as I'm leaving 2020 and heading into 2021, that sometimes I see what I'm doing before I do it, and other times I don't. And then I wrote, which is weird for me because I'm a planner. To be honest, it's very uncomfortable. I'm meticulous, organized. When my hubs and I first got married, I
Mm-hmm.
never told you about this, babe, but I wrote it. When my hubs and I first got married, he moved into my place. He jokingly mocks me, saying I always said everything has a place. And it did. Shoot, I still say that because it's true. Let me get to the next one. But over the last few months, God has shifted that thing in me that needed so much order. And I'm now learning to be okay with finding more comfort in the now, the unexpected, and the unknown. Here's to 2021. It's going to be a good one if you know how to flex, aka be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote that on December the what did I say 29th 20 of 2020.
Mm.
And actually I have a different date scribed in here, so maybe I updated it because I have 12/28 on here. But at any rate, that's how I feel. So for those of you all that are on here that are listening, don't get caught up in the details. Don't let the details kill your dreams. Don't let the details derail you. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some of the same kindness that you give to others. Be flexible,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes, like, what do I want to say? Sometimes things will flow for you, and then sometimes they won't flow perfectly, you know. You may be writing something and everything just comes out and it's amazing, or you may be writing and hey, like, you can't think of some of the words and you don't know how to spell something like witch. You're trying to spell witch and you're like, is it WITCH? That's not the witch I'm looking for. Which? How do I spell it? WICH? Which? It's like, man, just go past it, spell it wrong, and come back and fix it later.
Correct.
And don't allow your goals to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, start simple, set simple, measurable goals so that you can get small wins. Those small wins will encourage you, just like you won the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They will encourage you, and you can use that to gain momentum and to build and actually accomplish the thing you want to accomplish. Okay? So that was all. That was it. That's everything I have to say. You got anything?
No, man, that was dope. Like, it literally was a good message, and I just makes me feel like just do it. Like, don't let that hesitation or that stuff that's stopping you stop you. Just do it. Thank you, Nike.
Really? You are such a clown. You know that? You were just waiting for that moment. You're like, yeah, I'm about to throw, yeah, I'm gonna drop this mic on her.
I did.
Yes,
I
you
felt good about
did.
that. She
Oh
did
my
that.
gosh, such a clown. Does anybody have any questions before we get off of here? Or y'all are good, good, good? I am waiting. Are you ready to go to bed? Or not really?
I got a few things I want to wrap up, and then I will be.
Like, how many things?
Two.
Are they have to be done tonight?
One of them does,
Okay.
but we'll talk about that when we get off.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I can help you, and hopefully it won't take long. And that'll be that.
Agreed.
Okay, so I'm waiting to see if some comments come through because I see people on here, and I want to answer any questions you may have before we get off,
Mm-hmm.
and let that be that. Whew, I'm sleepy.
Me too.
I'm trying to think when we're gonna come back on. I really don't know yet, though. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really, really don't know.
That's a
Maybe,
good question.
maybe Friday, maybe not. Oh, let me tell you guys this while we have you on there. So, as I mentioned earlier, Dante and I have to be very flexible and fluid with our schedules because
Mm.
life is just changing. So, Dante is going to be starting school very soon.
Yes. Excited.
And that means that he has to step back from everything that he's helping me with.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he's stepping back, I have to flex myself around a little bit. And our podcast will be coming out every other week
Correct.
versus every week.
Mm-hmm.
Be-
That's
Go ahead.
no. I was just saying, yeah, that's just gonna be the start. It's only because of the new change, but I mean, we're doing this to make sure that we put ourselves in a position for the future. So this won't be forever. It'll be temporary, but we're doing this for ourselves.
Yeah, because you were starting to get the hang of editing and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. But thankfully, I will be retooling and reskilling myself. So I may come back with more skills.
Damn, you are going into a whole different arena, like cybersecurity. I don't even know what you're going to be.
That's
I
the
don't
cool
even
thing.
know what concentration you're going to have,
I
where
don't
you'll
even
end
know.
up, because it's so broad.
Exactly. I don't either, but that's the exciting part because there's so many options, and it's kind of like an opening. Like, hey, here it is.
Yeah. And they tried to tell us, like, the school, that his program was going to be $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it, and the interest rate was low.
Yeah.
And then And then I looked at like the monthly payments and they were really low. What, like $200
Yeah,
or
it's like
something?
271.
And
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
wow.
that's really cheap. And then I was like, how much is this loan for? 30,000. Then I was like, 10 years.
10 years.
I was like, 10 years. That's like a car loan for 10 years,
Exactly.
dragging it out for 10 years. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, we're not doing that.
No, we're not.
So now we're waiting on like to see how much aid we can get
Mm-hmm.
so that we can do it debt free. Our
Exactly.
goal is not to have not one loan, but to do it with aid
Mm-hmm.
and with
Scholarships
scholarships and that kind of stuff.
and the resources that are available to us. We want to take full advantage of what's available and utilize that.
Oh yeah, cause no, ain't nobody trying to pay no
No,
$30,000. Ain't nobody doing that.
nah, I don't
Yeah,
see that at all.
yeah, I don't even see that at all. Like when you went to school the first time, you didn't have.
No, I had ended up having like $2,000 after it, and that was because I didn't take any loans. I did grants and scholarships and paid for it while I was there.
Yeah, and I didn't have any of that. I
Mm-hmm.
had like one loan, and my grandfather paid that off pretty
Mm-hmm.
quickly. So yeah, I didn't know anything about college debt, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. And that was just one loan,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a little one,
Yeah.
and it was like no more.
Ain't nobody trying to deal with that.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Me
So
too.
that's what Dante has going on. And because of that, like I said, we're going to be scaling back because I'll have to do everything on my own in between being a mom and, managing our household
Mm-hmm.
and managing our business. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So we just want to we just want to be very, very intentional with what we have and then not wear ourselves out either.
Agreed.
I'm not big on doing a lot to be seen. I'd rather be intentional, honestly, versus just trying to do something to be seen. I could
Mm-hmm.
care less about that. So hopefully you guys, if you've been listening to us and been following the podcast, you'll stick around as we pull back a little bit and go to doing it every other week. It'll be better that way because we can put out a lot more quality content um, versus me just trying to like bust it out in between my work, in between taking care of my big baby,
Mm-hmm.
Dante, and taking care of the little babies. What?
Nothing. I'll take care of
Seriously.
your big baby. I'm the big baby.
Don't I take care of you?
You're the big baby.
Stop acting like you don't know.
Okay.
Babe.
You
Babe.
take care of me.
Huh?
So you take care of me.
Uh-huh.
Do I take care of you?
I mean, what did I do for you this morning?
You woke the kids off.
Nope.
What?
Tucked you in the bed.
Oh, that was the cutest thing ever.
Because you got to sleep in. I tucked you in the bed.
Yes, you did. That was so cute when it happened. I was like, did you just tuck me? Like, yes. I was like,
See? So you
ooh.
are a what? You big baby and you liked it.
I did like it. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't remember the last time I got tucked in.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's tell him this and then let's go.
Okay.
I'm thinking about our in Georgia
Mm-hmm.
in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
We're laying in bed and I told you to tell me a story.
Oh my god. Really?
And your story was so whack.
Yes, it was.
I said, tell me a bedtime story, Dante. Y'all, this just happened like 2 days ago. This Okay. So one of our children is still awake and they heard us. And he just came in talking about, was it about band camp? Okay, so Joe, gotta tell him this. You want me to tell him or you want to tell him?
No, you go ahead and tell him. You always want to bring it up anyway.
Okay, so Dante, one of his first jobs
Yes.
was at a movie store.
Uh-huh.
It was at this place called Family Video.
Yep.
And so Dante just would randomly tell me stories and he'd be like, yeah, it's when I worked at the video store. And so like it got to the point of where he was telling me so many stories about the video store that I'm just like, You're like this movie I saw when I was younger, where it was like this kid kept sharing stories, and they were like, "This one time at band camp."
And ever since then, because one of our children heard it, every time I have a story or anything, wait, did it happen at band camp?
At band camp, that's like code for, oh my goodness, it's about to be one of them boring movie stories.
I'll be ruining my movie stories.
Right. Right. Sorry, I just fell asleep in the middle of your story. You still in the beginning?
Both of y'all laughing at me now too?
Did I miss anything?
No, not at all. It's a boring story. Okay. Okay, but back to this thing. I asked Dante to tell me a bedtime story. It's the worst story ever.
Yes, it was. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, what you want me to say?
Oh, so was that yawn because I'm boring? This is a band camp story.
No, it's 11:30.
Bobby, that music was perfect.
Right. It was something.
No, my story. Okay, so my story was terrible. I'm
It
not gonna lie.
was the worst story. I was like,
She said it in the middle of it. I was like, oh. And then she decided to give me a story of her own. It was all lackadaisical. And
my story was not lackadaisical.
It was.
Fam, I told you a really good story. It was a story about us.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a turtle and I was a coyote. And you wanted to get across the river. And I said, climb up on my back.
Mm-hmm.
And you climbed on my back, and then we started going in the river, and we got deeper and deeper. I was like, well, just hop on in my mouth. And you thought about it, and then you did, and I bit you and ate you, and the story was over. And you know it made you laugh. You're like,
I'm sorry, Mommy gave me that one time at band camp line.
It sounded like the wolf and the something that crawled on the wolf's back.
it was better than his story.
It was like, all right, the water, we're getting a little deep.
Right, that's exactly what happened in my story. Like, we were knee deep,
and then the wolf said,
body deep, and then I ate him up.
Just, if you saw my face as she was saying the story.
Oh yeah, but I gave a different spin on the story. I said you were a turtle and you had this house on your back that you would go in when you were scared and stuff.
Oh, I remember.
Right, and it would protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good story. I should have wrote that thing down, and we could have made us a little children's book.
We should have.
Humble home.
Humble Homes.
Really?
Who's Humble Homes?
I like to travel, so I got this travel van on my back.
Lord. So now he's saying I'm like a
1999.
Now our baby is sleepy.
They call it the shell.
The shell?
really
Hold on, can I say something?
corny joke.
That one time at band camp. I remember the story that one time at band camp.
Corny.
No, your stories are corny. That's what's going
No, that's what's happening.
1998 Honda Shell.
1998 Honda Shell. That's a good one. That's a good one, son. Listen, but this is what yeah. This is why y'all don't see us on the internet. Because we be at home making corny jokes.
Yes, we do. Laughing.
Yeah. I one of our other children, I said you should just get TikTok for corny jokes because you just tell the corniest jokes all the time.
I ain't gonna lie, he probably have 1 million views next week.
Yeah, I was like, somebody please save me from my son with all these corny jokes. Oh my God, they're so bad. Oh my God.
It'd be so long.
What makes the joke so corny is they have like 25 points in them.
Exactly.
Listen, our daughter was like, your joke is too long. She was serious.
Your joke is too long.
This is not what we're supposed to be talking
It's
about.
not. Look, Diane just said good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night, Diane.
This is not what we're supposed to be talking about. But oh my gosh, she was so serious. She was like,
Your joke's too long.
your joke is too
It
long.
was.
Just stop talking.
There's
It's
so
too
many
long.
parts to it.
Like, it's just too long.
I got one more. What was Jack Frost up to last Christmas?
Is this a corny joke?
He was up to snow good.
Did you hear him?
Yes, I heard him. On that note,
He gets his corny jokes from you.
no.
Yes, he
What
does.
did the Grinch get me for Christmas?
What did the Grinch get you for Christmas?
Yes. A stocking full of nothing. Just like that hole in his heart.
Give me another one. Give me another one.
DJ Khaled said another one.
I didn't know if it was a joke or a statement. That's the worst part.
It was a little bit both.
We gotta get. I think we should do corny joke awards in here,
It
Oh,
was
that's a
little
good
bit
idea.
both worlds.
like every month.
Okay.
Have a little award.
What the hell am I trying to say in that song? It was the best of both worlds. Like that last joke I told.
Good night. Your joke was the worst. Good night. Thank you very much. All right, friends, we are out of here. We
Yes.
have laughed long enough. If you were just now coming on, then wait till we get off this broadcast and go listen to the first 10 minutes because that is all you need to hear. And you might want to listen to it tonight and by what about 7 tomorrow? Because we're going to pull this video down because we were doing the most.
I was enjoying the video. I don't know if we need to pull it down.
Were you? Because I was sharing all your little corny
Oh,
secrets.
it's fine. It's like I'm bothered.
I was sharing all of the secrets.
So I gotta tell you about the story at the movie store.
Oh my God, I don't want to hear no more movie store stories. You didn't
You wanna
even
hear one
realize
tonight?
that you did it.
You want to hear one tonight?
You used to tell me those stories all the time. You'd be like, oh yeah. And then you said, yeah, I knew somebody that had one of those electric Prius. And I was like, was this somebody at the movie store? Yes. I was like, oh my God.
It was white too.
Oh my God.
It was
Like,
a Toyota.
we about to go back to the
It was
movie
him like,
store. Like, really? Really, Dante? Another one of these
Yes.
stories?
DJ Khaled.
Another one. But it's been fun being married to you.
likewise.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself.
And we have fun in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of us, especially when we laugh and start acting real foolish. And we have dance parties
We have
too, y'all.
dance parties.
Like we legit have dance parties
Mm-hmm.
where we turn the music up, the sound bar up real loud, and we play music.
And we go at it.
And we have amazing videos that the world will never see. They're just for us and for when we get older so we can show our children and be like, you remember we did this?
Mm-hmm.
The most fun thing though is creating these experiences knowing how much they're shaping them.
Mm.
Knowing that one day they're going to look like back and be like, man, my childhood was great.
Yep.
My parents were so stupid. Like, they were so dumb. Oh my gosh. Especially my mother. Especially my mom. Didn't I aggravate them kids today?
Yes, you did.
Right. Go crazy on them, mommy. What? We'll tell them that joke later. We can't tell them that tonight. Oh my gosh, but it's amazing. So we're out of here. I'm Lola.
And I'm Dante.
And you've been listening to The Smoking Prophet. And the son is there talking to you. You can probably hear him. He has a very deep voice. Come over here so they can hear you and say
his voice suddenly got lower.
say good night.
Yes, I do.
Oh, that was
A very deep voice.
that was a fake deep voice.
A deep voice indeed. I'm your worst nightmare. I am Batman.
Get out of here. Good night. If you're just now coming on, go back and listen to the first 10 minutes. We talked to you about why the details are killing your dreams and what you can do instead. Don't get caught up in details. Whatever you're trying to do, just do it. You can go back and work out the kinks later. If you're writing something, just write it all and get it out. Let it be ugly. Let it be nasty. You shouldn't be trying to write, proofread, and edit all at one time. Anyways, if you're designing something, just get the design out. Let it be as ugly as you want. If you're painting something, paint, get it all out. If you're doing whatever, do what you got to do, get it out, and then work on maturing it as you go. Work on maturing it later. It will get better, but you can't hold it in, because if you hold it in, you never get an opportunity to practice what you're doing. You never get an opportunity to make what you're doing better. Okay. All right. We're out. We love you guys. Bye. Oh, Kalila is on here. You heard all of the
I
foolishness.
know, right?
I got one last joke.
Come here so they can take us home.
If my dad was Superman, his kryptonite would be telling stories. Because he's so bad at it.
That was both clever and painful at the same time. I wasn't ready.
So he's bad at telling stories.
Yes.
The only thing he can do is read books. That's it.
Ask him to tell a story. Oh,
Right. I wish y'all could
I'm
see.
getting so weak.
I wish you guys could see him acting like he's about to fall out.
Oh,
He's so rude.
But you can just read bedtime stories. You got a great reading voice for your bedtime stories with the kids. Yes. But as far as you making up a story, oh no, them stories is terrible. Right. Thumbs down. All right, we're out. Love y'all. Bye.